how will that management of that 2 million hectares change, as REDD comes on stream and as the price of carbon makes the opportunity cost for pulp different? And then what happened is they then led into the sustainability vision. So we're working with APP, Asian Pulp and Paper, to develop a sustainability roadmap to 2020, where they need to understand what is their forest footprint, what is their carbon footprint, what is the footprint for water, energy, and all of the aspects of sustainability, including community, social, and biodiversity. And it became really interesting for me, and just kind of winding up my introductory thoughts, RED 2.0, in the absence of government-led demand, we have to find a way to have businesses that need to work with the land, whether it's agriculture, whether it's forestry, really imbibe the RED spirit. Like really understand what is it in terms of whether it's high conservation value forests or carbon-rich soils. How do you actually have them integrated into their business model? And then, obviously, government, when it does come on stream, from a regulatory perspective, obviously is of great assistance. My final comment really is, when you come to the evolution of REDD, I actually still think that we're probably 5 years away from a really robust understanding of how this is going to interplay. I think that what's the challenge is, when you look at all of the issues that have been raised, are we actually trying to approach just avoiding deforestation and climate change, or are we also tackling all of the social issues, all the land tenure issues, all of the, the other issues which have kind of come to be drawn into this debate? And I wonder whether we're missing the wood from the trees. Feel free to laugh more. That was my best joke of the morning.
George, thank you very much. Plastic, please.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. I'd like to open up the addressing the climate change concern is actually both a responsibility and a business opportunity. Especially on agribusiness sector, I think it's very important to Indonesia. It contributes around 15% to both the GDP and to expected GDP growth going forward. In short, I think it is and should be an important contributor to the President's 726 vision. Especially we at Rajawali, we believe in sustainable development. It's the right thing for Indonesia, and it's good for our businesses as well. Climate change is a problem facing all of us. Businesses need to acknowledge that climate change poses risks for our businesses and customers. But businesses also need to recognize that addressing climate change concern will require new products, processes, and technologies, all of which will create new business opportunities. Across Indonesia, abundant land and forests, a world of opportunity will open up in the next few years, ranging from higher value-added agriculture and forestry products to new markets for biomass, biochemicals, and biofuels. We must also be mindful of the risks and threats to our exports if Indonesia is perceived as using unsustainable practices. What are the three main businesses need to do, and what are the three main things that the government needs to help? To make sustainability and growth complementary to one another, businesses have to do their part, and government needs to do its part. I will start off with businesses have to do. There are three key points that we jotted down here. Operate legally and sustainably. For example, businesses should follow sustainable forest management, mining practices, etc. The second one is maintain Indonesia brand image as an exporter. For example, businesses should aspire to work with large buyers and customers across the globe that value good practices. The third one is adapt. For example, businesses need to contribute to solutions for land tilting and land tenure concerns so that they can improve access to non-forested land and steady increases in agriculture productivity. The three key points that the government has a critical role to play. Let me highlight three items that are very important to agribusinesses. Number one is the clear rules regarding what land can be used for what purpose and how to access more land. Better law enforcement is number two, for ensuring a level of playing field among competitors and an incentive for all businesses to comply with the laws. Third is investment in infrastructure to keep costs low, getting products to market quickly and efficiently. So my closing remark will be growth and sustainability can go hand in hand. I want to iterate that from the perspective of the business community, there need not be a conflict between sustainability and growth. There are plenty of opportunities we can grasp to drive our country economy, but businesses have to do their part, and also the government needs to do its part. Thank you very much.
Sutek, thank you very much for that. Our last speaker for opening remarks.
Oh, thank you. We are a very diverse audience here, so you may not all know the Forest Stewardship Council. The FSC is a market-based instrument, a certification system that actually identifies sustainable forest management and products coming out of that. So as a buyer, you can buy FSC labeled products, and that would be a reward for companies such as my neighbor, and they would be able to use the certification system to enhance the sustainability of the forests. So we currently have more than 140 million hectares certified around the world, and there is over here in this region more or less 5.5 million certified hectares. We work with 20,000 companies, from very big ones like Walmart, IKEA, global players, until actually groups of communities, very small producers. Our system is a stakeholder-based system, and that why it relates to what we are talking about here. We work with 3 chambers, 3 groups of interest, very much as the PPP system. We have environmental members, social members, and economic members, so businesses, NGOs in the social field, and NGOs in the environmental field. And our policies are leveled out between those 3 interests, which is why we think we represent the kind of thing we are talking about here. Our business is safeguards. How do we make sure that the issues that we have been talking about here, like Francis has said, are all stakeholders at the table? How can we make sure that when we work with financial mechanisms such as RED, we indeed do that? And what we provide then is an independent judgment on that, an independent set of criteria that can be used on a voluntary basis by companies to prove that they are taking these kind of things into regard. And that is social criteria, land tenure, access to the land for communities and indigenous groups. It also has biodiversity criteria in it, ensuring that the forests will remain to be a source of biodiversity species and not only will diminish its, deforestation and degradation. We currently already have a set of standards that reflects this, but what we are now doing is to make them more applicable to environmental services. We look at the broad range of environmental services, and RED Plus would be one of them. In that context, we will make them available to companies that will and work on sustainable forest management, including RED mechanisms and financial mechanisms, actually to enhance the economic efficiency of their forest and to make sure that this is done in a way that respects the biodiversity in their forest and allows communities and indigenous groups the access to the land and the